going on, people? It's Gunsryer from NextGenTactics, and I've got the biggest news story in the gaming world going around right now, and I want to talk about it. Now, the title of this video, I'm going to discuss that near the end, and there's a reason for that. However, I want to talk about something first that's basically related to it, and it's related to all of this, and that's the recent exploitation of the security hack or security breach that has occurred on the PlayStation. And now there's, basically utter chaos everywhere. Predominantly, the main attacks are actually on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, World at War, and with Modern Warfare 2. They're hacked to crap. They're completely hacked. Actually, you can't get into a normal game on there. Now, I know I put out a previous video where I said, Call of Duty 4 is dead, blah, blah, blah. It is actually dead, and by the sounds of it, Activision isn't going to do anything about it, or can't do anything about it. And this is what I want to talk about. So we've got basically 3 dead previous titles and 1 working title that is the shining star and the hope of the Call of Duty franchise. Now, I have some issues with this. They basically, what has happened, if you don't know, the PS3 security has been breached by, GeoHots or something like that. Who cares? Whatever the douchebag's name is, him and a group of others have hacked into the system, and now all hell has broken loose in these games. But there's things that I'm very curious about. They state that Activision, and if I find the article, actually I should be able to find it on IGN, but the article basically speaks to the fact that Activision says, well, there's nothing we can do because these software rely on the security of the console itself. I'm going to go out and say that that is absolute bullshit. It is bullshit. There's no way that companies like Infinity Ward, I know they're owned by Activision, Infinity Ward and Treyarch, which Black Ops is absolutely fine, that they completely relied on the security of these machines to not have their servers and their software hacked. Absolute rubbish. Rubbish. I'm sorry, but I absolutely do not believe that statement at all from Activision. At all. I say lies. That's what I say on that. And normally, we want to say, okay, well, maybe we don't understand, but it does absolutely makes no sense that a company, and they said, well, Black Ops isn't affected because their new state-of-the-art security, they don't rely on the console, the security encryption of the actual console itself. Are you telling me that Infinity Ward, and as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sorry, but a superior company in terms of developing its ability to develop amazing game engines and software and everything, just put no security into it whatsoever? We've seen hacks before on these systems. We've seen hacks in Call of Duty 4, in the God Mode hack. All have been patched on the PlayStation before these breaches. Now, granted, I don't have the full capability of understanding exactly what the security breach on the PlayStation entails, but the fact remains that Treyarch is sort of consistent and continuously monitoring their security on Black Ops. There is no way in hell that Infinity Ward made a game with no security on their end. They're just like, oh no, let's hope to God that the console security works because we'll be all screwed. That's absolute bullcrap. Absolute bullcrap. I absolutely do not believe that for 1 second. I feel like they're lying to us. You know what I mean? The same thing with Microsoft, the Xbox 360. It's notoriously hacked. Everybody knows that, and they constantly either do hot fixes, which is behind the scene, or patches to fix that to prevent, because an Xbox 360 predominantly uses, for the most part, PC-based language, and most hackers use PC-based coding. So it's easy, and that's why the 360 has always been targeted. However, there's no way that these companies, so, Infinity Ward would have made games knowing that it's susceptible through the Xbox 360 that they could breach already. They're already well aware that the security on these consoles doesn't work. So that's absolute bullcrap. I call you out on that, Activision. Absolute bullcrap. Now I just feel like you're lying to us. You're lying to us as gamers. And here's the thing that I'm saying and why I'm saying this. This is my, I guess if you want to call it, conspiracy theory. Activision doesn't want to fix this. They don't want to spend the money in it. This security breach on, I mean, for the most part, they've already got an agreement with Microsoft, you know, to give them everything. And I'm not trying to get you geared up on the fanboy wars, but the reality is there's a business contract between Activision and Xbox. And they will always do their best to try and, you know, keep that going. But it's evident by the release and the poor porting of Black Ops that was solely, you know, almost, you know, made for the Xbox 360 and then poorly translated over to PC, Wii, and 360 or PS3. And that was very, very evident. And that's why there was a big uproar. They're doing their best to patch it. But that established relationship is there. Now there's this other chaos, same sort of things that would have happened on the 360, but have always been there, so they're kind of used to it. That's the whole difference here. Is the 360 has always been used to these hacks and have just dealt with them, and then they're constantly fixing. But this new security breach on the PS3 is new. I mean, it's always been the tightest sort of the Fort Knox, and now it's completely cracked open. So all hell is broken loose. And I think that Activision is using this as a scapegoat. They're like, oh no, there's nothing. Oh darn it, the security breach. Now we can't fix all the hacks and the problems and everything like that. We really wanted to spend all the money on it, but now we can't. What can we do? That is an absolute cop-out. Absolute cop-out. I think the conspiracy theory is that they've used, not that they created this. I'm not saying that they hacked into the system. That is absolutely nothing. I am not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that they're using this and exploiting this unfortunate event in the PlayStation's history to not and to neglect the PlayStation gamers. They are purposely ignoring a large chunk of the gaming industry and utilizing something that's happened to basically say, you know, we don't have the time on it. Well, we'll see what we can do on it. There's been hacks all over the place, and there's no reason why they can't at least attempt. Like, are they even going to try? Or are they going to sit down, get a whole bunch of programmers and say, okay, if we fix it, how much time is this going to take? How much money? Because that's what we're talking about here. How much money is it going to take to repair the damage that's going on there right now? If it's too much, they'll probably just fall back on the security breach. Because, I mean, the rumor is that the security breach on the PS3 is not patchable through an update. It's a hardware update. Which means, but it's irrelevant. It doesn't mean that the PlayStation 3 is going to die. It's just more or less in the same realm as the 360 has always been. There's that open gateway now. Now the difference is that software developers have to incorporate a higher level of security on their end when making their games for the PS3, which they've always done for the Xbox 360 because it's a known problem. It's a known gateway. So here's the issue. Will software developers, and I think it's evident, will software developers want to spend that money to increase the security in their software for PlayStation games? And I think it's obvious what Activision's stance is on this. No, we don't want to do it. I mean, they already, you know, give us crappy ports, because that happened. And I don't care what they say or what statements they put out, it is more than obvious, and if you believe any of the rubbish that comes out after saying, oh no, we'll see what happened, blah, 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 blah. No, garbage. Xbox 360 is their shining star. And you know what, from a business standpoint, they sell more units to them. So that's why that relationship is there. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. I'm not harping on it. It's a business position that they've taken. But we are, as PS3 gamers, a huge chunk of that. And PC gamers got crapped on. Another huge chunk of that. Wii gamers, probably the largest, and they got crapped on as well. It's baffling to me. So this whole I can't fix the Modern Warfare 2 and the COD 4 and the World at War problem, I think Activision is using it as a scapegoat. I'm not saying I can't confirm this, but if you think about it, everything that I just spoke about is true. Hacks have always been fixed. Xbox 360 has always had that crack. Has always been the crack there. And they just simply patch it, and they're aware of it, and they put the security measures in it. But maybe the software developers, just as they didn't want to spend the time and the effort and the money to give us a proper port of Black Ops, they didn't want to do the same thing with security on the PS3. It was a way to save money. It was a way to cut down on the budget. And so now that the security on the PS3 is breached, they don't want to have to go back and actually put in the security in the software. But if you're telling me that X or Infinity Ward didn't put in any security in their software for PS3 is absolute bullshit. That is bullshit. Now let's get on to the last topic. Get the latest updates and stay in touch with the NGT community with our all-new Facebook application. Check the description of the video for details.